Step one, wake up, really gon' rise in the sun. Step two, get some good, some food in you. Step three, grow hard about what you wanna be. Step four, everybody just do your thing.
Wake up, today's gonna be a good day. 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 Set your affirmations, aspirations. I got shit to do, the aftermath of preparation. Good mood, blood in circulation. One step at a time, yeah, that's how you make it. Set a goal you control and the steps you take them. I try to pick one thought, have some concentration. And if I make a mistake, it's called education. Try to do this every day, call it replication. Wake up, today's gonna be a good day. 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 Life ain't easy, yo. I think there's a reason, though. Ups and downs, just like every different season, yo. Sometimes I'm high, other times I'm barely breathing, though. You always gotta fight and hide from the demons, yo. Negative thoughts and poison they rot. Head full of flies, so here come the clouds. I'll never stop unless I can swap all the bad for the good in my head when I'm lost. Yeah, so I'ma fake it till I make it. Positive thoughts are overtaken, I got patience. One day at a time is how you operate a cadence. A flow, you grow, you show yourself a foundation. Stay away from all the shit that causes temptation. I know that I like to do it cause it's sensation. I live my life in my head like a narration. Don't expect greatness, do my best, man, I'll take it. Wake up, today's gonna be a good day. 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 Wake up, today's gonna be a good day.
Wake up, really gon' rise in the sun. Step two, get some good, some food in you. Step three, grow hard about what you wanna be. Step four, everybody just do your thing.
I'll just let everybody know if you guys want to come over to the horizontal stream, that would be the best because we're about to play our intro video. Welcome to the Bullhorn Betty's True Crime Breakdown, the no-holds-barred dive into the stories they don't want you to hear. Today, January 1st, 2026, a Texas ISIS bomb plot foiled right here in America. New York City's mayor sworn in on the Quran, sparking citizenship fury, on top of the Minnesota Somali fraud bankrolling terror, and 40 dead in a Swiss bar fire that screams cover-up, and a little boy, Jonathan Boley, 5, vanishes near his father's home where explosives are found in Jasper, Alabama. Buckle up for 2 hours of truth, America's first no PC nonsense. Hit that subscribe, share, and let's blow this up. Good morning, America. We're cutting through the noise and delivering the facts straight. No political correctness, just the raw truth. Today, you're diving headfirst into stories that should have every red-blooded American on high alert. We've got an attempted Islamic State takeover here on our soil. And I'm not mincing words about what needs to happen. Then a devastating fire in Switzerland that claimed around 40 lives, brushed off as a tragic accident, too quickly for my liking. And a breaking heartbreak, a 5-year-old boy missing from jail with explosives tied to his family's property, raising all kinds of red flags. Folks, this isn't just news. This is your wake-up call. Well, good morning. Good morning. Good morning. I forgot to turn my computer off last night. So it reset all the settings, and I forgot to change it from Bluetooth to USB. And so that is exactly why you guys were hearing double volume. So it's nice to see you all this morning. As you guys see, we have fairly an explosive updates for today. Lots of scary stuff going on out there in the big bad world. Does it all have something to do with one another? I really don't know. But I know it's something that we need to be discussing because it kind of sucks and it's a little scary. If you guys are on the vertical chat, you're more than welcome to stay there and enjoy your morning on the vertical chat. However, it's going to take you 5 days to talk on the vertical chat. So if you are wanting to talk about these things, you may want to come over to the horizontal. We have a 20-minute waiting period. The reason why is to control the chat and keep the trolls away, if at all possible. And so our moderators are typically on our main horizontal chat, our regular, TV and computer chat. And so I've changed some of the settings on our vertical chat so they don't have to monitor that side as much. And so one of the ways I control that chat is by putting a 5-day waiting period on it. So you can't chat on that chat unless you've been around for 5 days. But if I find that there are some people that come here daily, new to this channel, and would like to talk about the topic of conversation that drove them to this channel. And so here on the horizontal side, you only have to wait 20 minutes before you can speak. And usually by the time we're done with our intro, your 20 minutes is up. So if you have not subscribed to the Bullhorn Betty channel, now would be a great time to subscribe. And while you're subscribing to the Bullhorn Betty channel, 2 other things that you could be doing. You can change that little bell right next to the subscribe button and put that to all. And you can like this live, right? You can like this live. We have another show tonight at 5 o'clock for Sebastian Wayne Drake Rogers. We do have the other, second Dutch's interview. So I want to make sure that we get the transcript plugged into the system. We'll be pulling the report on that as well as some other. I'm not sure what is next in line to be plugged into the system, but we're doing it very methodically in order. I don't know if it's going to make a difference whether it's in order or not, but it makes a difference for me because I keep everything that I have in date order. So it just makes sense for me to do it by date order. Before we get started, guys, Happy New Year! Happy New Year! I hope you all have been doing really, really well. I'm really excited about 2026. We've got a lot of work ahead of us politically as well as true crime side of things. This is just going to be really, I feel like all of our prayers, I know it kind of sounds a little weird, but I feel like even all of this gunk that we're seeing right now, I feel like our prayers are being answered in part because we're getting clarification. We're getting clarity. We're seeing the things that we knew existed but could never prove. We're seeing that all come to light. We're seeing it all erupt to the surface. All the conning, all the fraud, all the evil is really starting to unmask itself throughout our country. And I think even though it feels really rotten for us going through all of this right now, I truly do believe that there is light at the end of the tunnel, that, there is something good and positive that's going to come of all of this. I really think that this is really setting 2026 in the right trajectory. We're really clawing back some of the fraud that we were doing. That's less money, less tax burden on all of us. We've really have a national talking conversation about really reducing government and really reducing taxes, which many of us have always wanted. So Again, we are going through a lot of stuff today, and a lot of stuff is going to be a little uncomfortable for some people that may not want to talk about some of this stuff, right? Because we're going to be talking about some divisive or divisive, depending on how you would like to pronunciate it, topics, right? We're going to be talking about the overtaking of the Islamic State on American soil. We're going to be talking about a New York City, the largest financial bureau in our United States, just about, is being headed by a man that just put his hand on the Quran, not the Bible, in our country, which is literally just sparking citizenship fury across this country. So we're talking about that. And then we have this massive fraud that's not just in Minnesota that has spilled out. We're seeing reports coming in from Washington, Pennsylvania, Ohio, and we all need to be getting out there and doing our own investigative work. We've got a lot of independent journalists that are now boots on the ground in many of our states, going through the records to find out how much money are we really funneling to these places. We're looking at the federal level. Some of these programs were only $2 million in nature for all of us, for the entire United States, or, for our entire federal budget, just $2 million. Some of those programs have skyrocketed to $130 and $300 million in a single year. Okay? They knew this fraud was going on. Everybody knew this fraud was going on. You know what? They were too much of, let me say it. I'm going to say it. Forgive me for saying it. Too much of pussies. Okay? That they didn't want to be called racist. So they allowed literally trillions of dollars to be robbed from us from border to border. Right? And all because they didn't want to be called names. Baby, you can call me whatever the hell you need to call me to sleep well at night, but there ain't no way in hell I'm allowing some type of fraud like this to go unchecked. Right? Like, this is really, really, really bad. This is really, really bad. So we're finding out a lot. This all kind of broke out because we were hearing about this fraud. President Trump kind of brought on a national stage this $250 million feeding our children fraud in Minnesota. I don't think any of us realized that was literally only the tip of the iceberg. Like, this is so widespread that this is billions of dollars per state at this point, the way I'm looking at it. We're already up to $18 billion in the state of Minnesota, and we still haven't even gone through the Medicaid, other avenues of Medicaid, such as the ALFs, the assisted living facilities, the adult daycares. There's another whole facet of fraud littered in those areas as well. I almost guarantee it, okay? Anything where there's government assistance, people wanting their handout, it's riddled with fraud. And what's upsetting to me is that we're paying people to handle this money instead of giving it to the people that need it the most. And again, when we broke down yesterday the fraud in Minnesota, we broke it down by person. They have about 5.8 million people in the state of Minnesota, according to their census of 2024. And so when we took the $18 billion and divided it by the 5.8 million individuals in their state. Now, this is individuals. This is on census. This is all, all of the citizens there. This is not just, American citizens. This is not just adults. This is everybody. This is adults, children, infants, mothers carrying babies, right? And they have about 5.8 of those. Do you know we can give every single individual in the state of Minnesota, the whole entire 5.8 million people, mommy, daddy, babies, kids, teenagers, grandparents, anybody, if you have 10 people living under your roof, each of the 10 people living under your roof would collect $3,100. So my question has always come down to, why are they just not giving it to the people that need it the most? Why are they wasting our money with middlemen that take 90% of the money? And in the case of Minnesota and what's going on across the state and country, is they're taking 100% of those proceeds. Nobody's getting shit. Yeah, I'm just, folks. So as I said, we're going to be taking a deep dive into all of this. This is your wake-up call, folks. This is your wake-up call. It's January 21st, like I said, and while many of you guys are probably nursing your hangover, right? You guys are probably nursing your stinking hangover. Get down to that part of I told you guys we never script this show. Well, we now script this show, just to let you know, in case you guys didn't realize this show is pretty much a fairly scripted show. So anyways, it's January 1st, 2026, and while the rest of the country is nursing a hangover, we're waking up to a republic that is being handed over to those who don't share our values. Folks, we're facing an attempted ISIS takeover on U.S. soil. Arrests prove it. Latest, December 2025, ICE nabbed an Afghan national, John Shah Safi, if I'm even pronouncing these names right. You know, I can't, you guys know my Hooked on Phonics is broken, so bear with me. An ISIS-K supporter released under Biden's program. He aided terror and armed a militia commander father. Plus, most recently, a Texas ISIS sympathizer charged with sending bomb parts to undercover agents. FBI reports ongoing threats here. This ties to massive fraud in Somalia strongholds, like Minnesota's $250 million plus feeding our future scam, mostly Somalia linked. Now, remember, Somalia linked is they believe in the Quran and Islam. Okay, they are Islamic, they are Muslims. So I just want to make sure that that's pointed out. And the reason why I'm not an Islamophobe. Okay, and if you need to call me an Islamophobe, do you, boo? All right, it doesn't bother me. It doesn't bother me. I'm here for facts and I'm here for the truth. I really don't care about PC. I don't care what people have to say about me. I'm not that type of girl. Okay, so at the end of the day, these are Somali-linked defendants. There is a clear-cut identity to who is responsible for a lot of this. Not all of this, but for a lot of this. And these are Somali-linked defendants stealing child nutrition funds, adding to our debt crisis. Ongoing probes into daycare show fraud too, and we're just now scratching the surface for ALFs and other live-in type of facilities for people that Medicare obviously pay. There have been people literally setting up their own private homes and saying that they're a business just to scam money, and nobody is the wiser, and nobody ever even went by there to realize that they're not even a business, they're a private home. Well, don't worry. Independent news journalists like me all over this country are boots on the ground doing real shoe leather investigation while mainstream media sits on their ass and picks up a phone, okay? They are an embarrassment. They are an embarrassment. They are an embarrassment. It is unacceptable for non-citizens. It is my take. My solution is go home. Okay? If you are not an American, you should not be holding political office in America. If you are not American, you should not be here if you are not a citizen. If you can't come here the right way, it's time for you to leave. I know that rubs a lot of people the wrong way, and unfortunately, that's not my problem. You know what my problem is? Our debt crisis. You know what my problem is? The crisis that we have where people are coming over here from other countries and think that we are just ripe, that we can just be defrauded while they live in mansions and we struggle to pay for those mansions. We as American citizens, I can say right now, are done with this dynamic. Something has got to go on. And we're saying, if you do not belong here and you are not a citizen, it's time to go home. no non-American in political office swearing on a Quran erodes our Judeo-Christian foundation. And whether you like it or not, whether you're an atheist or not, I don't care. You have a right to believe what you want to believe. However, our country was developed and sponsored under God. It is on every single thing. It's on our courthouses. It's on our money. Okay? We are a God-fearing nation. And although you may not like it, that is our founding. That is our founding. Okay? That is our founding. So, quite frankly, it is very difficult for me to believe. Where the heck did I go? For me to believe that we are not in a potential takeover. I'm trying to be careful on how I say what I'm trying to convey. But we have people sympathizing with ISIS. We have people over here robbing us blind and sending it back to militia. And we have representatives that aren't even citizens in our country. Again, not even citizens in our country, or have just recently came to our country and are now taking over our biggest financial institutions? Our biggest financial institutions? Like New York City? That man has been a citizen since 2017 or 18. We're going to get into it. We are going to get into it. Sorry, I lost my place in my order here. But at the end of the day, this does tie back to the Somali link stealing in our debt crisis and ongoing probe. It is unacceptable for non-citizens to be taking political office. The Quran erodes Judeo-Christian values. It does not belong in civilized civilizations. The Quran is for the Middle East. The Quran is for people that want to slaughter each other. Okay? It is not for America. It is not for the UK. It is not for Britain. Okay? It is a Middle East. If they want to go and blow each other up, they can do that. But it needs to stay away from the country. Secure our borders, America first. This infiltration is bankrupting and endangering all of us. Last night, in the dark of night, Zohran Mamdani was sworn in as the 112th mayor of New York City. He didn't just use one Quran, he used two. His grandfather's and another family heirloom. This is a man who didn't become a citizen until 2018. Think about that. 7 years as a citizen, and now he runs the financial capital of the world. We are seeing a pattern where non-Americans and newly minted citizens are seizing the levers of power while our own veterans sleep on the streets. And it's not just New York. Look at Minneapolis. We're tracking a staggering $18 billion. That's billion with a B, folks. Billion with a B in federal funds that supported 14 programs in Minnesota since 2018. Federal prosecutors now admit that half or more than that money has been stolen. More than half of the funds. Do you guys understand that? None of the funds barely even reached their prospective people. They never fed the children. The children starved through COVID, folks, because of these greedy SOBs. These greedy SOBs. 14 programs, and they were able to get this much money out of 14 programs. This isn't just fraud. This is a systematic drain of our economy. Who is behind it? The U.S. Attorney's Office says 82 out of 92 defendants in the child nutrition and autism scam were Somali Americans. It's time to deport them. If they don't belong here and they're on welfare, bye-bye. You have to assimilate or get the hell out of our country. That is going to be a mandatory. I'm going to let you know we are pushing for that, and it's only a matter of time before it is mandatory. If you don't want to assimilate to America, bye-bye. We don't care how long you've been here. We're going to denaturalize you and boot you out. Okay? And if people are offended by that, it's not my problem. You being offended is not my problem. Me having a safe country, that's my problem. That's any activist's problem. Your feelings, we don't care. Let me just be very clear on that. I don't care. I don't think half of America really gives a shit, to be honest with you. You can go cry to somebody that does, but we don't come to us. This isn't diversity. This is a takeover. If you are a citizen, you should go home, not going to City Hall, okay? If you aren't America first, you shouldn't hold the keys to our treasury. He is not America first or citizen first. He has no business running the largest financial engine in our country. All right, listeners, let's talk about the elephant in the room, or should I say the wolf at the door. We're seeing what we're seeing as an attempted takeover by the Islamic State sympathizers right here in America, and I'm calling it like I see it. This is not an isolated incident. It's a pattern of infiltration that is costing us trillions in debt, eroding our culture, and putting us at serious security risk. We are in serious trouble, folks. We are in serious trouble. These are important information you need to know. First, the facts, because the truth matters. This week, just this week, December 30th, 2025, a Texas man named John Michael Garza Jr. was charged with international terrorism, trying to aid the Islamic State group. He allegedly provided bomb-making materials to an undercover agent he thought was an ISIS supporter, right here in our home, folks. This comes on the heels of another case where a man was accused of funding ISIS individuals. And don't forget the ISIS arrest in December 2025 of an Afghan ISIS-K terrorist who was released into the U.S. under questionable circumstances. Meanwhile, U.S. forces are striking ISIS abroad, killing and capturing 24 operatives since mid-December. The FBI worldwide threat reports highlights ongoing ISIS activity in America, folks. This is serious. We are a true crime community. We got peril out our back door. And you guys need to know about this. Peril. It's here, folks. It's here. But here's where I draw the line. This is what's happening in a vacuum. Give me just a second, folks. I'm going to pull that clip up of this Texas man so you guys know what's going on here. Oops. There we go.
Texas, accused of trying to provide material to support a terrorist organization. John Michael Garza Jr. is being charged in federal court. Here is part of the statement from FBI Director Kash Patel. The suspect allegedly shared ISIS propaganda, sent cryptocurrency believing it would fund terrorist activity, and attempted to deliver materials intended for explosive devices. Now, according to court documents, Garza met with someone who he thought was connected to ISIS, but in reality was an undercover FBI agent. During that meeting, he described how to mix components and offered to send some sort of instructional video on how to build a bomb. Now, agents were first tipped off about Garza back in October. That's when things started to go down, when NYPD told them he was following several pro-ISIS accounts online.
My question is how in the world are we always behind the ball on this stuff? Yet, for some reason, we can go find, what is his name, Bin Laden in a freaking cave in the middle of nowhere, but we can't seem to find these animals in our own country. And we just so can't seem to find all the pedos, selling images online, So I'm just saying, what's going on with our country. How do we have technology to go find bin Laden in a cave in the middle of nowhere, but we can't find freaking people that are doing terrible things to our children and our American people here on our own soil? It seems a little lopsided. It seems, kind of like Big Brother conspiracy theory type situation here. I don't know what you want to call it, but it doesn't seem right, does it? To me, it's just odd. It's just odd, whatever.
Here's where he shared officials' ISIS media releases and started sending small amounts of cryptocurrency, believing it would go to support the
cryptocurrency. I'm hearing that we need to be educated in this cryptocurrency. For us, not being involved in this cryptocurrency, I know it was taboo once upon a time, but now we have this cryptocurrency, and I'm hearing a lot of people are using this cryptocurrency and being able to keep more of their own money. Now, I don't know anything about cryptocurrency, and I'm not going to drive my audience off a ledge, but if you guys are financially smart, you guys need to look into it, because I'm hearing a lot of big players are really getting into this cryptocurrency. And people, the way I've always looked at things is you follow the rich people, the people that are making money, you follow what they're doing. Okay? You don't look at some of these people that talk a big game but don't really have a whole lot to show for it. You want the people that never talk a big game, that never even say shit, but you just look around and see they have all the nice stuff, right? Those are the people that you want to be monitoring, that you want to ask questions to. Right? You're never going to get like them by playing by the rules by somebody that's not there. Okay? So, I don't want it. I'm just saying, I'm looking at this, and not only that, but even Nick Shirley, the one that broke all this open, people were asking him, how can we send you some money? Because, when you do good work, people want to help you. Right? And I looked, and he gave this weird number, and I'm looking at him like, what the hell is that? And it dawned on me, these young kids are crypto. These young kids are all about crypto. They're not using Cash App and Venmo and all this other stuff. They're now using these cryptocurrency things. It's just weird. Hey, Seth, it's nice to see you. Remember 2015 San Bernardino? I don't remember it, but I mean, this is getting serious, folks, and I'm just trying to impress upon you how serious it's getting out here, okay? Because there's a lot going on.
In federal custody, facing terrorism charges. Good evening, I'm Steve Eager.
And I'm Heather Hayes. Investigators say he gave instructions on how to make a bomb and how to buy weapons for ISIS. Fox 4's Stephen Dial, live with more. Stephen.
Investigators say the suspect, John Michael Garza Jr., allegedly met with an undercover agent in a Dallas park days before Christmas.
That is scary. I mean, I want you guys to understand, we don't know where this was going. Who was going to be attacked? Because you hear that this guy is in Texas, but you hear New York Police Department is involved in this. Okay? I want you guys to understand, when you have things that are going on like this is going on across the country. Typically, the person that's, doing these things that live in, say, Texas, most of these things aren't being carried out in Texas. They're going to be carried out in another location. Just, according to everything we've learned. I can't be conclusive about that, but I can assume that most likely whatever he's preparing or handing this bomb making these items or equipment to whomever that he's handing it to, I don't know if he thinks that this is going to be, for something in Texas. He has to know that this is something for someone else. So, and to think that this is going on under our nose, folks, how scary is that? How scary is that you're pulling up to like Home Depot and you see somebody sitting in their car? It gives you a whole new perspective of why they're sitting in the car. Are they meeting somebody to exchange something? And now, we used to think it was like, substances and drugs and, stuff that you're not supposed to be, we're not considering that somebody out there is slinging, C4. We're thinking it's H or some math or some Coca-Cola, but definitely not some C4, And you're hearing this, and it's starting to get to a point where it's just all too consuming and all too scary. Guys, it's showing that I'm dropping some frames and rates, so I apologize if it's getting a little sticky, but we're still going to push through. We're still going to go ahead and push through.
The court documents say that he allegedly gave instructions on how to make a bomb, among other things.
From this home in Midlothian, the Department of Justice says 21-year-old John Michael Garza Jr. planned the delivery of bomb components to who he thought was an ISIS supporter. Garza first appeared on the radio of New York police detective in October.
ISIS remains a real threat.
We spoke to former FBI agent Kenneth Gray about the case. The criminal complaint is very detailed, outlining the communications between Garza and someone he called his ISIS brother. In reality, he was talking to an undercover agent.
Thank God. Thank God. Can you imagine if he wasn't talking to an undercover agent? Betty, we need Betty here in the UK. I tell you what, I'm telling you, I would be in jail in your country. I'm telling you, they would throw me in jail and throw away the key. I would have been forgotten at this point. But if I lived in your country, I'd be buried under the jail at this point. I truly do believe you guys are, dang and young. That's what I'm saying, Robin. Like this, how can the parents, that looked like he lived in this home with his parents. How can the parents not know what's going on? Or were the parents supporting this? Guys, if you're seeing your child acting like this, there's something going on, okay? It's your responsibility to keep the rest of us safe. And if you're taking care of your adult child because, let's face it, they don't want to go out and get a job, and you're just the bleeding heart, and you want to, enable them, look what you're enabling. Look what you're enabling. You guys need to kick your kids out of the house. You understand that. If your child is 24 and they're playing on a video game instead of being at work, it's time for you to quit parenting, okay? You've done your job. Now it's time for them to go run along now, okay? Go start their life. Are you really wanting to be a parent the rest of your life? You realize you're ruining your children. Are you wanting grandbabies? Because you ain't getting grandbabies like this. I'm just saying, if you don't know that. I know a lot of you people that are taking care of your 20-somethings, you guys want if you want grandchildren one day, you need to give them a boot. Let's put a plan together, okay? You're living here. You need to have a job by XYZ. If you don't have a job, you're living on the street, son. Not my problem. But mom, nothing. Get a job or get out. And then when they get the job, start collecting rent, right? And make sure you save enough. Don't spend that rent money. Don't you dare spend that rent money now, because we need to get this boy or this girl up at the house. So what you're going to do is you're going to take that rent money and you're going to put it in a savings account until we have first, last, and security deposit. You see how that works? And then it's time to go apartment shopping and kick them the hell out of the home. Just saying. Just my suggestion. I highly suggest it.
This picture of rifles, court documents say, Garza wrote, quote, "That looks nice. So beautiful looking. The strong guns."
I think this is a very interesting case in that it shows that the continued...
I don't know if the comments, I can see myself. If I had some guns like that, I'd be stroking my guns, okay? You guys know Betty, okay? Betty's a Second Amendment. I love guns. I love guns. I love guns. I love long guns, short guns, rifles, pistols. I like things that go kaboom, right? But all in good fun and never to hurt anybody. These people here are a little different because they're not in good fun. Those are not being purchased for us to go target practice and shoot watermelons, right? Those are being used to hurt us. They want to hurt us. What puts so much hate in this young man's heart where he wants to hurt thy neighbor? That's what we need to find out. I think we need to start answering those questions. If we start understanding why, that why is so important. And it's the one thing we can never seem to get a direct or straight answer on, the why. Why are they doing this? Why do they want us hurt? Why do they want to see us,
threat of lone wolves here that are radicalized online to remain a persistent threat here for the United States.
On December 8th, Garza allegedly gave details about a bomb, telling the undercover agent, quote, "I have the stuff to make the detonator, to explode it, but not the explosive yet." Quote, "And I can also use cut nails to fill it with.
Jeez.
So when it explodes, the nails will go everywhere." On December 22nd, Garza allegedly met with an undercover agent at a Dallas park.
How does that make you feel? How many people are in Texas that are in the chat right now? Like, we have 124 people in the chat. How many of you 124 people in the horizontal and 68 people over there in the vertical, how many of you guys are from Texas? And only just raise your hand or put a 1 or say I'm from Texas or whatever it is. Tell me how many of you guys are in Texas. If you guys are new to the channel and you're on the vertical chat, come over to the horizontal so you can speak. You guys are going to be blocked on the vertical chat because the vertical chat has 5 days for sub. The chat over here, the horizontal, only has 20 minutes. So anyways, guys, sub up if you want to chat. First and foremost, but how many people? I know we had Texas Mama, but she's not in here right now. So I'm just curious. West Texas, Rena's out in Texas. Okay, we got Denise in Texas. So we've got two. We've got 2 so far that are in Texas. How do you guys feel about this going on in your backyard? I'd have to think that you're probably fairly unnerved, that this probably makes you feel a little concerned. I mean, did you guys go out and do anything on New Year's? I didn't, not because I don't want to be around large groups. I'd love to be around large groups. I don't go out on New Year's, just like I don't go out on Cinco de Mayo. When I know that it's a holiday where more people drink than not, like Christmas, you kind of, it's like 50-50. Some families drink during the Christmas holidays. Some families are abstinent. Some Christian families don't drink at all. So I'm not so much like on the Halloween, Thanksgiving and Christmas going out or being out, but on like Cinco de Mayo, where everybody's drinking, and New Year's, where everybody's toasting, I stay my butt off the roads. One, I don't party. When I was in my 20s, you couldn't keep me off the roads, right? But I'm 46. I don't party anymore. I haven't done substances in years. I'm not the rah, 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 welcome in the new year type of gal. And not only that, when you get to a certain age, you start winding down a little earlier at night. And I find out when you're single, you kind of fall asleep whenever the hell you want to fall asleep. I'm just saying. I don't know that's with y'all, but I know this single lady here. I'll be up watching TV, and next thing you know, and then I wake up and it's like 3 o'clock in the morning. I'm late. I need to get up. How did I fall asleep? I got food all over me. What the hell am I doing here? Right? What the hell am I doing here? Never did New Year's. I did. I'm surprised I didn't get DUIs on New Year's. I got the 2 DUIs I got were on off days. It's like I shouldn't have been at the bars. I was drinking at freaking 9 o'clock in the morning, and finally by 4 o'clock in the afternoon. Oh, hi, officer. Do you know who I am? Oh, back in the 20s. We can laugh at it now. I wasn't laughing then. I definitely wasn't laughing when I had the machine put on the car. Wasn't laughing. Let's get back to our fraud and our terrorism.
Exchanging acid and other items before being arrested at this Midlothian home.
This is a very well executed case against this guy. He met with undercovers, and he provided bomb-making material and instructions on how to go about making the bomb and how to go about increasing the lethality of the bomb.
Jeez! Like, literally, they wanted to hurt people. I don't understand why anybody would want to hurt individuals they never met, innocent people. religion that tells you to hurt another human being is not a religion. I would spit on the Quran. Actually, if I was there, I would burn the damn Quran. I would burn it. I don't believe in it. I don't think it's a religion. I think it's disgusting. I think it's blasphemy. And I think the people that do it, they don't deserve to be in America. I'm sorry. Again, call me whatever name you need to call me.
Garza faces up to 20 years in federal prison.
He faces up to 20 years in federal prison. And then lastly, this is kind of long. Let me get to the... Yeah, I think we're going to need to watch at least the first few moments of this. No, I can't. That's right.
Spotted Garza.
Yeah, I can't. We'll have to go back. I'll have to strip the music. We'll come back to that. All right, guys. So that's kind of my position on this. You guys know I'm kind of an open book. What I say is what I mean, okay? I'm not a PC person. I know some of the things I say are offensive. They're controversial. And in their right, they should be, right? I have a difference of opinion. It's a difference of opinion that many of my fellow Americans share. And so since they are not able to speak up and say what they think is right and what's on their mind, I'm going to absolutely do it for them. I know that there is a lot of people on both sides of the aisle that are tired of it, and they're tired of being robbed blind, but don't know what to do, right? Because one of the things that we know that has been weaponized against is name calling, right? Nobody wants to be called an Islamophobe. Nobody wants to be called a racist. Nobody wants to be called, terrible names when they love people. They just, are at their wits' end. And I think a lot of Americans are at their wits' end. We love people, but we're sick of being bitches. And at the end of the day, I feel like that's what it is. And even then, you hear the independent journalists pulling up, and what's the first thing out? Oh, you're racist, you're terrorist, you're this, you're that. Coming from the bitch, you come to my country. Let me just put this down like this on New Year's. You have the audacity to come to my country, our country, occupy this bitch, and then call us names because we won't let you rob us blind? You can take your sleazy, slimy asses back to wherever you came from. Whatever rock you crawled out from under, you can go right back to it. We do not care. You need to call me names? Call me names, by God. Bullhorn Betty. Okay, I've been called a lot of horrible names in this world. A lot of horrible names. But at the end of the day, you don't see me robbing from my people. You don't see me being disrespectful. You don't see me going out there calling them names. And hell, quite frankly, we wouldn't even be having this conversation if they didn't have such sticky fingers and robbing us blind as a country. They're robbing us blind, folks. So again, you can call me whatever name you need to call me, but I'm telling you one thing right here, I will not be stolen from, and neither should any of you. Neither should any of you. This has become a problem in our country without a doubt. And hopefully it has become such a big problem and such an expensive problem. I think we've all learned our lesson. Even the ones that are having that jagged pill to swallow because they had the bleeding hearts and they wanted these people to come in here because they wanted to be, so sweet and kind to horrible people that don't really care about us and stuff like that and have the bleeding heart. Well, I think they're learning their lessons as well because their children were murdered as well, right? Their children have been murdered as well because of their bleeding hearts. Their wallets have been stolen from because of their bleeding hearts. I think it's a good and a wake-up call for all Americans across this country that we can be kind. We don't have to bring them over here and prop them up in our home. We can pay for them to be taken care of closer to where they live and through the help of other countries. We can do that, and I guarantee you it's not going to cost us trillions of dollars to do, because bringing them over here and them robbing us blind has cost us trillions of dollars, and quite frankly, the price tag is too expensive for me. Okay? So that's where my big mouth comes from. So we're looking in here, we're tracking the staggering $18 billion, that's a B, and federal funds supporting the 14 groups. More than half of the money, we believe, has been stolen from those coffers. This is not diversity. This is a takeover. And we should be talking about this wolf at the door. We're seeing it like this Islamic State sympathizer right here in America, where we were just going over, making bomb-making materials and other things. And now we're moving over, after all of this fraud going on in Minnesota, now we're coming over here and seeing the mayor of the largest financial bureau in our country not even assimilate with our way of life. And he put his hand on the Quran, and he is running the state of New York, or the city of New York, like a frickin' socialist project. Do you realize the only people that benefit from socialism is the very top of the top, the kings of the socialism pyramid? The kings? I thought you guys weren't with all the kings and the haves and have-nots. I thought you wanted a level playing field. You realize socialism doesn't do that. It just puts a bigger divide between the haves and the have-nots. So if your teacher's not educating you and telling you the truth, well, that $100,000 Ivy League education probably isn't very good for you. I'm just saying. Mommy and Daddy probably need to send you to a vocational school. You'll probably get better teachings there. So this Mamdani precedent discusses the legal pushbacks of lawmakers like Andy Ogles and Randy Fine to investigate Mamdani's 2018 naturalization for alleged failure to disclose DCA membership and other things. So we're going after these people to find out if we can boot them, right? And I think we're going to be making some strides in Congress to prevent anybody, because this is how countries are taken over. You're allowing people that don't live here, that don't belong here. How many Congress people do we have that don't even have a citizenship in America that's in our Congress? At least one that I know of, and I'm pretty sure there are more. I know that we have judges that are on benches in America courts that are not even citizens of this country. We have a major and big problem in this country. That is not America, okay? And I don't know how they're doing it, except by fraud. So we've got to watch this. We got to watch this. Okay, we're off this whole Mamdani and stuff. You guys know where I stand on it. I want the Quran. I want Sharia law banned in our country. I want it done. I want it done ASAP. And people are dragging their sweet time. Folks, we've got, and I wanted to show you guys this because to me it's disgusting.
And so with
and of course Letitia James, right? Felon in chief.
That, let us begin. Please repeat after me.
Felon in chief.
Raise your right hand. I, Zohran Mamdani, do solemnly swear
that
I will support the Constitution of the United States.
That I will support the Constitution of the United States.
How can somebody support the Constitution of the United States when the book that he's got his hand on completely contradicts it? Can somebody explain that? The book he has his hand on, he's swearing to uphold our Constitution in that book that he's putting his hand on, tells him he has got to tear our Constitution from page by page. So how can he have his hand on the Quran and his allegiance to America? It doesn't work that way. Listen to this. You guys know the Quran, so many. You guys know by now what's in it. You may not know word by word, but you guys know what's in it. I want you to listen to what he's swearing to.
Zohran Mamdani,
do solemnly swear
do solemnly swear
that I will support the Constitution of the United States,
that I will support the Constitution of the United States,
the Constitution of the State of New York,
the Constitution of the State of New York,
and the Charter of the City of New York,
and the Charter of the City of New York,
and that I will faithfully discharge
and that I will faithfully discharge
the duties of
the office of
the Mayor of the City of New York
the Mayor of the City of New York
according to the best of my ability.
according to the best of my ability.
So help me God.
So help me God.
Congratulations, Mr. Mayor.
Yeah, he says he's going to support the Constitution that the book that he put his hand on says that has to be eliminated. Our Constitution means nothing in their world. So, anyways, that's just my position. I think I did that to kind of stir controversy with the hate channels, calling me all the names that they want to call me. We'll just throw it on out there. I think that people that don't belong in America need to go home. Plain and simple. Plain and simple. All right, guys, kind of clearing the air and getting back on here. Here is another really weird case. It kind of bodes, it could potentially bode in with what we've been discussing with ISIS and stuff like that. We know that there's been several attacks across this country, and right now we had an explosion at a bar. What does that mean? In all fairness, I'm kind of jumping ahead of this, and we're going to go through the information, but in reality, I think it is possible that this isn't, that there is a reason why they're taking this as, treating this as a fire death. They're not treating it as arson. They're not treating it as an explosion. They're not treating it as a terrorist plot or anything to do with terrorism or anything like that. So let me just go through this. So moving to international news with a tragic twist, around 40 people are presumed dead right now in the Switzerland kind of area. Over 100 are injured, mainly gravely, after a massive fire and explosion tore through the Le Constellation Bar in Crans, Montana, a luxury Swiss ski resort. This happened just after midnight on January 1st, so you have to kind of look at the backdrop, play the tape through, and of course it was packed during the New Year's Eve celebrations. The bar was in the town center, possibly a basement venue with about 100 to 300 people inside. So what we do know is an explosion happened around 1:30 a.m. their local time, sparked the blaze. The emergency services and please forgive me for not pronouncing these correctly, but it looks like it's Valaise? Canton police responded immediately, but the area is sealed off as rescues continue. Officials like Frederick Grisler and Patrice Pillaud have spoken out, emphasizing it's being treated as a tragic accident, maybe a gas leak, not terrorism. I actually have a perspective that I think that could potentially explain it. Victims include locals, tourists, identifications are ongoing. Eyewitnesses described chaos with flames engulfing the building. I watched some of the video. It was very heartbreaking. And now we cross the Atlantic to the Switzerland while the world is celebrating an explosion ripped through the bar at this luxury ski resort. And again, more than 40 people appear to be deceased and or injured. There's 100 people injured, and so the death toll may actually rise as they pull bodies out of the scene. But here, my question is, why rule out terror so fast? In the world of rising threats, we need a thorough probe. Happy New Year to you too, Love Bug. Happy New Year to you too. So one of the things that I think happened is I was watching some of the stuff going on outside of the bar, like in the streets, and it seemed like it was a very, very festive evening. And one thing that I noticed a whole lot of was a whole lot of projectiles, being shot off. The locals had their own fireworks, and stuff like that. And what I think happened, this is what I think, I don't know for a fact, but I do not believe, even though I don't like them immediately clearing the possibility of a terrorist attack, especially when we have so many people deceased. One of the things that I am noticing here is it appeared that there's a possibility that something from the road went into the building. You understand? There was so much going on around that bar that I was watching videos, and it was, people were just laughing, music, things going off, people holding sparklers, people holding this, it being normal, normal New Year's stuff. Yes, honey. No, go. Sorry. Did I just knock myself out? Sorry, I just hit a button. Go. You're fine. We're not bringing you up yet. She's just standing there looking at me, wagging her tail. Now she's sitting, patiently waiting. Don't know what that's all about. So she might go to barking soon. I don't know. So let me get back here to where we were. And then we're going to the last story. I'm going to play these couple clips so you guys have a good understanding of what's going on out there in Switzerland. But the last story hits a little closer to home, guys. This is about a 5-year-old little boy that is missing from Jasper, Alabama, and law enforcement is very, very concerned. They were about to execute a search warrant when they found, believe it or not, it's kind of crazy how all these things tie into one another, but not. They found explosive type of material on this property that his father's living on, where it made it unsafe for them to do and execute a search warrant. So they ended up having to clear the house before they could get the search warrant. And the father originally disclosed this boy being 4 years old, and come to find out, he's 5. So we have a lot to discuss on that. So please stick around. It's not going to be all about this doom and gloom. We do have a little boy that we have to advocate for as well, which we're going to do as part of our closing. And we are going to start diving into this case. He's been gone for a little minute. There's something highly suspicious about what's going on out there. His dad just is not rubbing me the right way so far. So we're going to have to, work on this. And I think we're going to get some help and assistance from a few of you guys funneling some information to me. So moving to international news, we've already covered over the Switzerland bar, so let me go ahead and play the videos.
Just heard from the police spokesperson for the local canton of Valais, who was telling Sky News that he believes at least 10 people have died in this explosion, at least 10 others have been injured, have been transported.
There it is. Look at that.
And here you can see on your screen.
You can see all the flames in the windows there. And I know they said that that people may have been in the basement, but with all the people outside, I keep wondering, did something go through one of those windows by accident from the road? Because you got the bottle rockets, you got all types of things, and God knows, what happened here, because you got to think, in bars, they have a lot of flammable and explosive materials just for being a bar. All of those things under pressure. Think about it. Your sodas, your carbonated water. I mean, all of that stuff comes in sealed pressure containers that can go kaboom. If there's a hole that's punctured in one of those things, it turns into like a projectile that can just go, just go anywhere. And you're talking about huge metal containers that are under pressure. So you think about all the stuff that are in bars. You do already have flammable stuff all by themselves. And if they serve food, good gracious, most of them are on, gas. And those gas, obviously pose its own risk, and alcohol is, it's totally flammable. And the obvious, that Oakley reminds us of is that alcohol itself is highly flammable. Okay, if you don't know that, do yourself a flambe. We'll have to do that. I'll have to do that. You rock. You're amazing. Happy New Year. Oh, thank you. 12 months of membership. Are you 12 months? Oh my gosh. Love coming here. Oh, we're so thankful. We're so thankful. But now let's kind of roll. Let me finish playing this and let's roll on over to the 5-year-old. The 5-year-old needs our attention.
The aftermath of this explosion and the fire that subsequently broke out, quite a lot of damage to the exterior, and with the number of people who have been killed and with the number of people who have been injured, that would tally with what we're seeing currently on our screens. Now, the police officer, Gaetan Lation, who spoke to Sky News, said that this is not a terrorist incident, that their investigations are currently underway and every avenue is currently being investigated, as he put it. When I asked him whether there would be any foreign nationals who were injured or dead, he said he believes certainly there would be, because this
is an upper crust resort. A lot of high net worth people were probably here. So it's sad. It's sad. I can kind of understand why it appears that this is not so terroristic. And again, I know you're not watching in this one, but I did watch, it showed what was going on outside this bar. And I do believe that maybe something on the outside of the bar contributed to it. But, maybe not. Maybe they did just have a leaky gas and a gas explosion. Maybe somebody lit a cigarette right at the wrong time. But I don't know what that's all about. Come here. I don't know what she's wanting to get up in my lap for some reason. I'm not quite sure why, but she just wants to be in my lap. So now we're going to move over. Thank you for letting me bend your ear. Now we're going to move over for the second half of this show, and we're going to divulge. Good gracious, I can't even speak. Dedicate the last remaining hour of this show to a missing 5-year-old boy out of Jasper, Alabama. Like I said, this is breaking and heartbreaking. Major concerns are growing for a 4-year-old Jonathan Everett. Give me just a second. Let me pull this off. We're having some techie issues behind the scenes. I do apologize about that. But Jonathan Everett Bully, he's missing from Jasper, Alabama, initially reported as 4. In some alerts, he's confirmed to be 5 years old. Last seen December 31st, 2025, around 11:30 a.m. at the 7,000 block of Highway 195. He has blonde hair. He's adorable, guys. When I pull him up, you guys, he's adorable. Long, beautiful hair, and beautiful hair that makes us girls jealous, okay? This little boy's hair makes us girls jealous. And he's got blonde hair, blue eyes, possibly with a black dog named Jonathan. That's really weird. Possibly wearing, sorry, it says black dog named Jonathan, so I think that's a typo. Possibly with a black dog wearing camo. Mom was flying in from Florida that day. He lived with dad. Ooh, Mom was flying into Florida that day, the day that he was reported missing. Ooh, this sound, if this is true and Mom was flying, can somebody confirm that? If Mom was flying in from Florida the day that he went missing, I bet you this boy has been missing longer than what is being said here. This is not good at all. This is not good at all. So Mom was flying in from Florida that day. He was living with his dad's, where cops found explosives on the property. Major red flags. Sheriff Nick Smith says massive search, no trace of this morning, as of this morning. And Walker County woods treacherous prior to kids' cases. Tragic. I don't know what that means. But we'll find out. We'll look into that. There is major concerns here. Reports are emerging that the property where he lived, where his father contained, where his father is, contained explosive materials. We need to find this little boy. He was wearing a yellow Mickey Mouse shirt, black pants, and Paw Patrol shoes. How was this child allowed to live in an environment like this? I mean, I think that's going to be first that we're going to have to ask. This isn't just a missing person case. It's a failure of protection. If you are in the Walker County area, get out there. Look in your sheds. Look in your woods. Let's bring Jonathan home. 90% of missing kids, families linked to autism wander are deadly. Though not confirmed here, Dad questions what exploded. Perils, Sebastian Rogers, Summer Wells. We need answers. Flood tips to Walker's County sheriffs is in my notes. He lived with his father, who's being questioned but not in custody. Explosives were found on the property, have delayed searches. That's a huge red flag. No foul play confirmed, but this is a rural area and has a history of missing person cases, though nothing linked to this family pre-2025. No public historical incidents that we can identify. Aaliyah issued an endangered child alert statewide. We need to find this boy. So if you are in Alabama, please, again, check your properties, share the alert, tips, send any and all tips to Walker County Sheriff's Office or Alabama Law Enforcement Agency. Is he autistic? I'm not sure. I'm just reading from here. I can't remember if he's autistic. I didn't really read or get involved in this case very much because there's not a whole lot out there just yet. I did find a few things about him that I'm going to be sharing with you guys right now related to, there we go. Actually, can I get over? Just see if I can turn this on. That's kind of better. Sorry, guys. I want to get... Okay, there we go. I'd rather my face be on one side of the screen than the other, so sorry about that. It's just a preference of mine.
A statewide emergency missing child alert was issued December.
Look at that little boy's face. That is a cute boy. That is a cute boy. I told you the hair. The hair is gorgeous.
31st, 2025, after 5-year-old Jonathan Everett Boley went missing around 11:30 this morning. Authorities are saying that they do believe that he is in danger. He was reportedly last seen around his residence in the 7,000th block of Highway 195 in Jasper, Alabama, but his father only reported him missing about 2 hours after he was last seen. While preparing to execute a search warrant at his father's residence where he lives only with his father, investigators discovered, quote, unusual explosive devices on the property, which led them to temporarily halt the specific search for safety reasons. Jonathan is said to be a white male, approximately 4 feet tall and 50 pounds. He has blonde hair and blue eyes. He was last seen wearing a yellow Mickey Mouse shirt, black pants, and Paw Patrol shoes. Authorities are saying that he may be with this black dog right here that was also on the property with him. They do not know where this dog is. Search teams that included people on foot as well as divers to look around the ponds.
That photo of that black dog seemed old, did it not? I mean, it was so blurry you couldn't even make out, you could barely make out the type of dog it was.
We're out there looking today after he was reported missing, but a lot of the volunteers and searchers were sent home upon the sun setting. The search is expected to pick back up in the morning of January 1st, 2026.
I don't know if it's true that this mother was heading there that day, which that was picked up from, like, all that stuff was compiled by the 4 major AIs, and then I put it in a Word document and try to put it in as much order as I could possibly do. So it's hard for me to think that a mom is coming into town. We need to find out if that's true. Give me just a second. Let me see. Where is... There are no reports for the missing mother of No, not the missing mother. I just want to know who the hell the missing mom is. Okay, let me do this a different way. Who is the mother of missing Jonathan? Good gracious. Her name's Kaylee. Information regarding a missing person named John Boley in Alabama isn't clearly available in public records. We just don't have enough, which is just shocking to me. How in the hell do we have a 5-year-old boy that is missing, and the only people showing this child missing is content creators? It's just frustrating. It's just frustrating. Let's see what we can find. Oh, good gracious. Wow. We've only got two stories on him. We got a few more stories. It looks like all these stories are just broke down into 2 different ones. I don't know. It looks like we only have these 4 stories. This is all we've got for them. There's not a whole big mainstream media push for this little boy. So I'm going to have to start throwing this out to mainstream media, because we don't have a lot, or excuse me, social media and our content creators here, our true crime. Guys, we've got a 5-year-old boy missing in Alabama, and there's hardly any mainstream media covering this case. This is an abomination. Okay, I don't know what's going on with you, Alabama, but we've got kids. When we have kids, we need more stuff about this than a few articles. Okay, this child's been missing for 24 hours. We should have more than four articles on a 5-year-old boy. Now, the problem I'm having with this case already out the gate, even though there's so limited information, is I need to find out about this mom. Because if the mom was truly coming in the day that he disappeared, now I'm going to start saying that he might have disappeared long before this day happened. That his mother was coming in, and the father knew that she would not be able to produce a child, and therefore all of a sudden he calls this child in as missing. Now, I don't know which it is, but when a father has explosive devices littered around his property, it does provide me very, very, very large concern for this child's health. Is this child in school? He's 5 years old. When did this child go live with his father? When was this child last seen by a third party? Like, we've got a lot of questions related to this child of Jonathan Boley. And again, hardly anybody covering it. We've got a couple people. We got, obviously, our friend, where is it? Our friend, Matt Thibodeau. Why I can't say his name properly today, I don't know. Thibodeau. I notice I've been speaking really weird lately. Not sure what that's all about, but either way, he's covering it. He picked it up. He saw it, but not too many other people have seen it. And then we get over here to X, and people are talking about it, right? Let me go ahead and just refresh this real quick so we can see if there's any new stuff coming out about this young man. And so we're starting to get out, but the latest post was 8 hours. You know, time is of an essence when we have a little boy missing. And we've got nobody, and I mean nobody, really putting in circulation this missing child's face anywhere. So we definitely want to make sure that our content creators that are in the true crime genre, because we stop the presses for the children, okay? It doesn't really matter what we're talking about. When there's a child missing, us here in the true crime genre stop what we're doing, and we put the child up on our screen, whether we know much about the case or not. I know literally nothing about this case other than what I told you. It's very concerning for me that a young boy is missing, and that there is potentially explosive devices found littered around his property. Because even if his father wasn't abusive, Who's to say this young boy didn't step on something and go kaboom, and his father's like, oh shit, I got to cover this up, right? We don't know what happened. What we do know is that a boy is missing, and it sounds like his environment, his home environment, was highly lethal and highly dangerous. And that is about as much as we know about this young boy in Jasper County. And I'd like to know about the mother. You know, why did the mother not have custody of her son? Is there substance abuse involved in this story somewhere? Is there alcohol abuse involved in this story somewhere? Is there domestic violence involved in this story somewhere? Is the Department of Children and Family Services, which in many of these cases, we know that they were already involved in the family and with the family and failed to pull the trigger until the child was missing, right? And then we find out the child's deceased and they could have removed this child. Is it another case like that? Dog is Black Lab, cross, very loyal dogs, in my opinion. They are very loyal dogs, but they also can be very violent dogs. I know people love labs and stuff, but I had a Labrador, I had pit bulls, and my sleepy little dopey Labrador was more, she was a sweet dog, by the way. But if you broke into my house, I'd be more concerned about my lab than I was about my pit bull. America would be hiding under a frickin' bed. Layla, she would have jumped out the damn window. I'm just saying. I love labs. Good dogs. Very loyal dogs. They're very good. They're just good dogs. You know, they're sweet and kind to you, but they also know their territory, and they never show their teeth or anything until they're in a threatening situation. So, Adrian is saying that Walker County, Alabama, most likely drugs are involved. Well, that would explain the explosive devices. He probably had people that are on a lot of substances. Their brains go, and they get ultra paranoid. And I mean, it's insane. It just makes me wonder what this little boy saw, what this little boy went through. You know, did anybody hear any loud explosions in the area? Where's the nearest, neighbor? It sounds like they're in a rural area. And, unfortunately, these rural areas are ripe for, abuse. They just are. They're ripe for abuse because there's not really a lot of services out there. Usually rural areas are a lot poorer communities. Not that the people that live in rural areas are poor. They're just a lot poorer communities. Some people live in rural areas that have money just because they like the land and they like the quiet, right? So I'm not trying to dog. I'm just talking about the majority. The majority of people that live out in the country are more poor than the people that can afford in-city living. One of the things of living out in the country, it's a lot cheaper because you have no services, right? That's one of the reasons. When did he go missing? It sounds like just yesterday. Yesterday at around 11:30. And again, we're hearing reports that mom was supposed to be coming in, but I don't know how true that is. I don't know. Well, actually, you know what? Let me see if I can ask the system. Give me a second. Let me ask the system. See if I can find out where the mom... I didn't like ChatGPT, so let me go to... So one of the... Let's see. It says the statement originated from official Walker County Sheriff update on ABC 33/40 News. Jonathan Everett Boyle's mother, unnamed publicly in reports, was flying in from Florida on Thursday, January 1st, 2026, the day after his disappearance, as he was scheduled to return to her custody, folks. OMG. OMG. Okay, so according to ABC 30, which is WBMA article, search underway for, let me see if they gave me the article. They do have the full URL. God, blessed. I hate this frickin'. I need a new mouse. This mouse is pissing me off. Let me see here. abc.com. Let me see if I can pull this up for us. Copy. Okay, hopefully this will clarify for us. Whoever that was, thank you guys. Thank you. Let me go over here. Facebook live updates. Okay, let me pull this up too. Page not found. It's saying the page is not found. Give it a second. It's thinking. Okay, give me a second on that one. Let me figure out what's going on with ABC. Let me see if I can search here and see if we can find Jonathan. Let's see if there is any other article on this one about the same thing. No. Search under here. I hate publication with the crap. I mean, literally the. But let's see here. So this is Alabama law enforcement emergency search underway for a 4-year-old, and they changed it to a 5-year-old. That's why the link works. So we'll read this article in just a second. So the timeline context is December 31st, 2025. Jonathan was last seen at Highway 185. Jasper lived with his father, questioned exclusives at home. January 1st, mother in for custody, handoff, search on overnight. No name released. To see standard child cases with the custody patterns and missing child alerts. So let's read this now. Starting to have problems with that. I don't think it's just go. This is what the article says. The Walker County Sheriff's Office is asking for public assistance in locating Jonathan Everett Boley, a 5-year-old boy who is currently missing and believed to be in danger. The Alabama Law Enforcement Agency said Boley was last seen December 31st around 11:30 a.m. in the 7,000 block highway of 195 in Jasper. He's described as a white male, blonde hair, approximately 4 feet tall, weighing 50 pounds. At the time he went missing, with a mouse jacket, black pants, and Paw Patrol shoes. Walker County Sheriff Nick Smith said Boley was believed to have been with a dog at the time of his disappearance. Finding this dog could help us find this missing child, said Smith. But he say that he was not in custody. 40 explosives were found in his home. According to Walker County Sheriff's Office, Boley was supposed to be returned to his mother sometime Thursday. Officials added Boley's mother was flying from Florida Thursday. Search crews will continue searching for Boley through the night. So they have it makes wonder. It sounds like they were kind of visiting his father for the holidays. So maybe this child isn't missing as long as I initially thought maybe he could be missing. But it sounds like he was everybody keeps saying he's living with his father. I think that's inaccurate. I don't think he's living with his father. I truly believe he was there for a holiday. I believe he may have been there to visit for the holiday. days. But we don't know. So let's listen to this. This looks like it's the Sheriff Nick Smith's morning update regarding the ongoing search. So here's what we know.
So kind of to update everybody where we're at. So yesterday, law enforcement, we received a call about 12:28 about a missing 4-year-old child. Turns out the child is 5. The information that we were initially given knew he was 4, but he is 5 years old. That he was missing. Law enforcement arrived on the scene at about 1:02 with RPS. They cleared the house just to make sure that he wasn't inside the house. We begin, so it's about 1:15. We've had drones with thermal as well as aviation in the air up until about 3 o'clock this morning. Aviation's refueling. They're on their way back. We haven't gotten any heat sensors. We haven't gotten any indication that the child is in the woods other than the
heat indicators. Listen, I don't like hearing that there's no heat indicators, because you got to face it. When we're dealing with a situation like this, the problem is that the child may be deceased, and those sonars that pick up heat are going to be ineffective. Just because, I mean, let's face it, a young child disappears. I mean, there are woods. It's in a rural area. If he's not used to it, he may have followed the dog, wandered off, got hurt, got stuck somewhere, and just needs to be found. We don't want to go straight to, this is a horrible situation. But in the grand scheme of things, we've got to be very concerned, because this father seems ultra suspicious, and having, explosive devices at a property where a child is not a good look. Period. It's not a good look.
Six-year-old brother said that the last time that he saw his brother was on the wood line. They crossed under the fence, and that was the last thing. He went back to tell the father that Bubba had crossed the fence line. So the child is missing, along with a dog. The dog's Buck. The dog's name is Bug.
So we have another child, which, children can be manipulated. So we can't hold our hats, that this child's being forthcoming if the child, may have said something that the father said. But let's face it, in rural areas, there's always possibility for accidental, especially a child like this. If they're from Florida, they may not know, they can't walk around. Alabama, rural area, there's a lot of bears, coyotes, snakes, crocodiles or alligators, whatever. There's just a lot of stuff. I don't know what area of Alabama this is, but, there are threats out there in the wilderness as well. And with the dog being gone too, and not running back to the house, I just, it feels weird, but I'm not, completely consumed that, the dad did something to this child just yet. It doesn't look good for the father. But the father's out in the country, and, some guys just like to blow crap up. Okay. And having stuff that blows crap up might be illegal, but it has nothing to do with why their child's missing, and we have to kind of balance that. If he's breaking the law, or he has explosive devices that are unlawful to possess, he needs to go to jail. They don't need to play around with him. Even if his son is missing and will be found, you can't have that around a child.
It's a black lab. It's got a large white patch on its chest, has no collar. So we have not found the dog as well. So we haven't seen any indications. Last night we found some deer, but we found no dogs. So we haven't found the dog yet either. Nearby neighbor.
I'm not liking that, because, even when a child gets gone, the dog typically wanders back to the house by themselves. Your headphones are messed up. Every time you move your head, it cracks. Well, I'm not hearing it on my end at all, so it might be maybe your speaker on your phone. Just FYI, I don't know. I haven't seen any other reports of that, but who knows? I mean, it is a digital world. There's always technical glitches.
Said that the dog was consistently coming on the field every day on his deer camera. He hasn't had the dog on the camera since the 26th of this month. So that's where we're at.
Whoa. He just said something. What? Hold on. Let's go back just a few seconds.
On the field every day on his deer camera. He hasn't had the dog on the camera since the 26th of this month. So.
Oh my God. That is not good. That is not good. That is not good. Guys, did you hear that? He just gave us bombshell information. Let's go back a few seconds. This is not good. They haven't seen the dog since the 26th, the day after Christmas. This is not good. If they haven't seen the dog, that child, this isn't good, folks. I'm not liking this. I was just giving the dad a benefit of the doubt. I'm not liking this. I'm not liking this.
Bug. Dog's name is Bug. It's a black lab. It's got a large white patch on its chest. Has no collar. So we have not found the dog as well. So we haven't seen any indications. Last night we found some deer, but we found no dogs. So we haven't found the dog yet either. Nearby neighbor said that the dog was consistently coming on the field every day.
Every day, this dog is on the camera, and from this 26th, the dog stops. Oh no! This is not going to end good. I can tell just that. I didn't mean to hear that, but I heard that, and this is not going to be good. Guys, this is not going to be good. Yep, the 26th of this month.
Said that the dog was consistently coming on the field every day on his deer camera. He hasn't had the dog on the camera since the 26th of this month. So that's.
Something happened on Christmas. Something happened on Christmas. Something happened on Christmas.
That's where we're at from that standpoint. Regina here was with the EMA. They're going to stay here and kind of organize the groups and where to search and things of that nature. Stay away from the house. The house is taped off. We have a search warrant to execute there. We have some things that we have to clear out of the house. We can do the search of the house because.
And not only that, but I wouldn't be, if you are out there, listen, when you start hearing things like explosive devices and stuff, I'd stay away from the property. Okay? You don't play. I mean, investigative journalistic, you listen to what law enforcement is saying, okay? If you're out there, we want you to be safe. We want you to do your job. We want you to do your job well. But I'm going to say do not sneak on this property, okay? That might be the last of you, okay? And not because somebody's going to, there might be a landmine. I'm not joking. These people that act like this, they're something else. There's something else. There's something not right with them. When you start having explosive devices, I don't care. I know people that built them, and I'm telling you, even the people I knew that built them, like, the pipes and stuff like that, they still all kind of funky. Even they just have a weird fiber about them. Like, you feel it. I mean, you know that it's like the one guy that I'm referring to, he's docile to me, but it's not somebody I'd want to piss off, and I've known him for years, but he just not with all this. Guys like to see things go kaboom. Women do not. Okay, we don't. That kind of stuff unnerves us. Okay, it unnerves us. But if you are an independent journalist and you're covering this story out in Alabama, God bless you, but do not go on this property. I'm going to tell you that right now. Don't go on it. I would not go on it, okay? I'm not telling you anything I would or would not do. Trust me, you guys seen me go on Alec Murdaugh's property. I was willing to do that. I was willing to take the risk. I'm not willing to go kaboom to get some footage, okay? A ticket, a ride in a paddy wagon, maybe to the clink clink. I might be willing to, for the footage. You never know. You never know. I'm being honest. But this is not good. This dog was on those cameras every single day, regularly. And then the 26th, nothing. And the father does not report this child missing until literally the day before the mom's coming to get the kid. That's why they're saying this is suspicious. That father did something to this kid. Father, turn yourself in. You don't want to see Bullhorn Betty. And you're close enough. You're a day trip. Like, you don't want to mess with Betty. Like, just don't. You're a day trip. So I'm just trying to, the hate channels better be getting on this man. You guys better be calling him and saying that you're getting the attention of Bullhorn Betty. Because I'm telling you, this man does not want to be out of jail. I don't care, rule, whatever. This is insane. Why is he not in jail? He has bomb-making equipment on his, or explosive. Let's say it accurately, because I don't want to say things that are untrue. They didn't say bomb-making material. They said explosive devices. For people like us, we may not see any distinction between them, but there may very well be a very big distinction between bomb-making materials and explosive devices. So they're saying that there are explosive devices. That means they're already made. That's the way I'm understanding it. They're already made and on the property, and they had to stop. So this guy, I like the sheriff. Sheriff, you're not going to get too many problems with Bullhorn Betty, but you can tell your country. So country likes country. Just saying.
Because of the threat of explosive devices possibly out in the woods and inside the house. So we don't want any civilians
out in the woods and inside the house, guys. Don't go on that property. Please. I love my true crime content creators. I love how ruthless you are for the truth, but this is one of those times where we ain't playing, okay? We ain't playing with you. Don't do it. Just don't do it. Just don't do it. All right, folks?
We have to clear out of the house. We can do the search of the house because of the threat of explosive devices possibly out in the woods.
Out in the woods.
The house.
And so inside the house.
Any civilians or service members anywhere around the house. So
I don't like this guy.
So kind of to update everybody.
Yeah, I don't like this father. I'm not feeling this father. I'm not liking this father. Too many crazy people. Yeah. Well, there's some good people. I mean, I like booms. I like kabooms. I like blow. I'm not gonna lie. I'm a country girl. I like blowing shit up. Okay, I love it. I used to go out and blow up. What are they called? The watermelon, cantaloupe, glass bottles. We'd go and filter through all of the neighbors' trash to get cans and bottles to go, shoot and whatever. But this is scary. He's got basically a landmine around his house. I don't like that. That guy should be in jail. He's a danger. And they need to go after him. Does he have the ability to make those? Is he lawful in making those? If he's not, I live in the country. And just let's be honest with you. We go kaboom in the country, okay? Don't be going out in the country and complaining about the guns. If you move out in the country and you're complaining about all the gunfire, then you need to go move in closer to home, okay? You're too far out of your environment. But we like kaboom. We like blowing shit up. We like noisy, loud vehicles. We like ripping and roaring. So BH not going to the rescue. Don't go. I'm not going on the property, folks. I'm sorry. I'll be on the. You don't have to worry about from private to public. I'll stay on the public side. Thank you very much. I like my arms, my legs. I like my head on my neck. I like my fingers and I like my toes. Thank you very much. I'll stay right there on the public property. I have no desire to go look under the hood. None whatsoever. No, thank you. No, thank you. All right, guys, please, please, please keep this little boy in your thoughts and prayers. This, I can tell you, we've watched this before. We've heard this before, okay? This is not new to us, okay? A dog is on the camera every single day until the very day after Christmas, and this child nor the dog is seen, and then all of a sudden, boom, right before mom's coming to pick up the kid's reported missing. We've seen and heard this song and dance before, folks. We've absolutely seen and heard this song and dance before. Very sad. We don't like it. This is not going to turn out good. We all know that, okay? I can tell you right now, we have a child that's been missing since probably shortly after Christmas. Something happened, it sounds like, at Christmas. Whether dad didn't have any gifts for these kids and the kids, started throwing a fit and dad lost his shit. Something seems to have happened on Christmas, either Christmas Day, Christmas evening, or early in the morning on the 26th, where not only this child, but the family dog was also injured. And I think that he probably was hurting this kid and the family dog probably was attacking him. And he decided to off the dog. And the kid was probably, I'm speculating here wildly without not one scintilla of information to support anything coming out of my mouth right now. It is pure speculation with a limited amount of information that we do have. Pink mist danger on that property, in my opinion. Somebody keeps saying pink mist. I don't know what the pink mist is. You guys are going to have to send me some information on what this pink mist is. And Sonia, you might want to step away just for a little bit because today is I'm going to say it, a fucking 2026 calendar day type of day. And what does the first one? For Auld Lang Syne. I guess this must be all the ways you say motherfucker. So, Happy New Year's, motherfucker. Sonia's gonna die. She's not gonna be able to handle this. I can barely be able to handle this. Oh, Robin. Oh, Robin. We love Robin. We love Robin. Okay. How are we going to get through 2026? Oh, my goodness. Oh, my goodness. Yeah, I don't see Sonia. Sonia she turned the volumes off. She turned the, come, you can get back up here. Come on, baby. Come on. Quit thinking about it and get your butt up here. Oh, good gracious. Oh, good gracious. Well, I'm glad I got her. I'm glad I got her out here before we started cussing. Oh, good gracious.
This fake news was indeed fake news. We don't want fake news. You're CNN. You're fake news. You have an agenda.
No, I'm Bullhorn Betty, but trust me, I do have an agenda. My agenda, let me tell you, I'll tell you what my agenda is. Law and order. It's law and order, right? If I could tattoo law and order on my forehead, I would. No, I wouldn't, because it take away from my smile and my dimples, okay? I don't want to do that. But if I really could, law and order would be the one. Like, Sebastian's Army is part of that. Pink mist, what's left behind when something goes boom. Oh, okay, gotcha. But now that I'm hearing about this dog, I don't know. Because I'd have to think if there was an explosion of any type on that property, it would be well known. I mean, I don't think you can hide something like that. But who knows? Sonia's charging you guys $15, okay? So I'm just saying, Robin, you're costing the channel with your calendar an awful lot of money, okay? I'm just saying. Don't say GD. I'm not saying GD. GD. I say GD when the cameras are off. Oh, I do not. Yes, I do. I can't lie. I can't lie. No. I try to say I'm a good old Christian girl that would never do anything wrong, but we all know I'm really a human being, and my name's Bullhorn Betty. So every day I wake up, I expect to do something, a lot of things wrong, but that's okay. That's okay. I still sleep just fine. Just letting you folks know, I still sleep just fine. Look at this beautiful boy's face. His mother. Oh my gosh, my heart's breaking. My heart's breaking for his mother. My heart's breaking because, you know, in the back of her mind, she knew not to send this child. She knew to fight. She's going to be one of the statistics, you know. I feel like she's going to be one of the statistics. That father should have reported this child missing days ago. If he didn't report this child missing days ago, he's the responsible party. This dog, a dog that's on a camera every single... Why are you shivering? Are you cold? Are you cold? Why are you so cold? You don't feel cold? Let me feel your little paws. Let me feel your little ears. Oh, wow, you are cold. Oh, no, your poor little nose is freezing. What did you do? Go take a dive in an ice bath? Oh, that's why she was whimpering to be in my hand. She's cold. She's sitting here and I'm feeling her just shivering. And I'm like, what the heck? What the heck? You know, we can always say never use the Lord's name in vain, but you know, when you stub your toe on that really bad day, you know, some things just slip, and I really do believe God forgives us for that, okay? Because I keep having this argument. You know, we keep hearing God doesn't make mistakes. How many of you guys hear God doesn't make mistakes, right? So I have to think if God doesn't make mistakes, he didn't make a mistake, okay? I'm just saying. I'm logically thinking this through, okay? We heard, raise your hand if we need to put this to the test. But I remember everybody saying God never makes a mistake. Do you guys remember that? Put a 1 in the chat if you remember God doesn't make mistakes. 1 in the chat. 1 in the chat. If I made in the vision of our Lord and Savior, Sonia, you're going to have to explain this one, okay? You're going to have to explain this one for the rest of us because, you know, sometimes I don't understand either, but I just keep showing up, right? I just keep showing up. All right, guys, it has been real. It's been a long, long day. We've already got our show set up for tonight at 5 p.m. for Sebastian Rogers. If you guys have been on the Sebastian Rogers ride with me, you're not going to want to miss these lives. These are very, very important lives that we're doing for Sebastian Wayne Drake Rogers. It is the true comparison from interview to interview. And I think it's very, very, very important. I think the one major takeaway from day one of doing these reports is that Katie was the one that was first and repeatedly using past tense for Sebastian, not Chris, Katie. And it was Katie that was withholding information about what she did the day that Sebastian was reported missing, not Chris. So we have Katie omitting important key factors, and we have her using past tense at the very beginning of this case. This is not looking good. While she's not using past tense in a sense where, you know, she's acknowledged that he's deceased or anything like that, we do have instances where at the very beginning it appeared she kind of knew he wasn't coming home in a sense. So we did have the 317 second Duchess interview that we did yesterday, but we didn't have enough time to get the transcript populated for it to be plugged into the system, so we couldn't compare that with the other ones. I will be doing that tonight and adding an additional interview in for comparison. So if you guys have really enjoyed the dynamic and the setting up of the lives that we're doing in the evening, you're going to want to come back here. We're going over a lot of information, a lot of comparisons, and I'm putting it in one show so you guys can go back and understand it as you're looking at the stuff and applying the receipts to the statements and stuff like that. So right now we have a total of 5 interviews that are going to be plugged in, and by the end of the day, it's going to be 6. And we are comparing all of the statements, everything that's changed. It's picking up on things that we didn't even pay attention to, or we got wrong. So I think it's very important that we're learning this. We're getting good clarity, and this will help us, understand what we're hearing in all of these interviews and what we need to really look at and expand on. So I hope you guys all join me today at 5. And until then, you guys rock it out with your coffee beans out, and we will see you soon. God bless.